the summer of 1979. Remember, I left JSO November of 77. I recognized this man. I'd had a car wreck. I had to testify against a judge's son. I never thought I was going to ever get good work again, and I took test after test after test, and I had an interview with the Internal Revenue as a pool clerk, POOL clerk, and I got hired. In the meantime, I was an Army reservist and a security guard at the Port Authority, I believe. Yes, I think I was a security guard at the Port Authority, nights, day, evenings. In the middle of all that, it was time for summer reserve, United States Army or Florida National Guard. I was a member of both at various times. So I'm going to Camp Blanding. Now, I've had an interview with IRS, and right off the bat, I've got to be going 2 weeks for Army Reserve training, summer training. And when you're in the training for 2 weeks, you don't see radio, television, newspapers. You're in your own world. They want you to be in their world, not the regular world. So you don't see that for 2 weeks. You're lucky to have a phone call. You can write your mom and dad or something. It's just 2 weeks, but you can write them a couple letters while you're there. And you're in barracks and whatnot, Camp Blanding. I got a phone call that my grandmother had took ill and was dying. And I told my mom respectively, and I know my name was Mud, but I'd had so many problems at JSO, and I finally had gotten a job at IRS, and I was away from it because I had Army right off the bat. I'm hired, but I've got Army Reserve duties. Then I was going to be away from the Army Reserve, and I don't even know the logistics of getting there, and I was still going to college some because I graduated in associate in 79 and then again in 80. First was associate in arts, and then, but anyway, my grandmother was neat. She's got my namesake, Mary Ethel Conley, Mary Louise Conley. So anyway, I remember getting that call. It was in like an office near the Kingsley Lake, and I told my mom, I said, Mom, I finally got a decent job, pool clerk, IRS. I'm going to go back to that as soon as this is over. And I'm with the U.S. Army. It's no way. I just go ahead and do my 2 weeks, and so I'll send some flowers, whatever. So it was bad, but anyway, that's what I did. But as far as if things had been turned back a little bit, or time was different again, and I was still unemployed and just doing the security work, I would have seen newspapers, articles, and watched the trial. I didn't see any of the trial because I was in the reserves. So I just said, maybe if I had seen that on a day in and day out basis, I might have interjected myself and said, wait a minute, Debbie and I rode with this freak way back in 1967. Maybe they should know. If my 2 week guard duty wasn't right in the middle of that, and if my grandmother hadn't died 3/4 of the way into that, and I was just getting on at IRS, and I was still just doing security guard at night. Once a week meeting, once a month, Army Reserve, Saturday and Sunday, once a month, and my college courses. Again, I was away from college too during those 2 weeks. So, but if I had just been in my normal night shift, night shift at the Port Authority, I might have seen pieces of the trial. And if I had seen pieces of the trial, I might have said, Mom, maybe we should interject maybe I might have said, maybe we should interject ourselves and go tell that he was here in 67, but none of that happened. It was like some cosmos type thing. Every door that could shut was shut, but I'm telling you the truth. And it's very hard for people to understand. I don't know that I would have interjected myself, but I might have. I might have called Lon King or somebody and said, Lon, we rode with this guy way back in June of 67. He was already acting kind of bizarre. But again, my feelings about the whole Ted Bundy thing was they got him. Look what he had become. And I don't know whether I realized it was him in 75 or 78. I think it was 78. And that's when I ran down to Miss Davis. My car had been, that was another thing. At some point in there, I had a car wreck. And it's just all kind of crap that went on. It was really rough. It's rough when you're young and you're having a lot of problems. All right. Thank you.